Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome into Wildcat Sports Talk. This is a little unorthodox for what we're used to because, one, I can't figure out the camera, and two, we went in here, we set everything up. We're live from the Butcher's Pub, and yeah, all of our equipment, just none of it works properly with what we need. So, as usual, it's Tim's fault, so blame him.
It's always my fault.
But we're gonna bring it tonight. We've got a great show lined out for you tonight. We've got Alfonso Smith on the line, former UK football great. We're gonna be really excited about bringing him on the show. Tim, what do I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just one of those things, Adam. Whatever this quarantine, this 2020, this is kind of on par, man. I mean, we get together. We finally get together live on location, and we have some technical difficulties, but we're not going to let it stop us, man. You guys are out there watching. We appreciate you tuning in. If you've got time, come out to the Butcher's Pub. It's going to look kind of funny out here, but we can interact with you guys. We're in Pineville at the Butcher's Pub, and they got a lot of good deals going on tonight. They got wing specials, 75 cents, and we're just going to have a good time anyway, man.
Yes. So we can actually stand back a little bit. That's great. That's what I wanted to do is kind of sit back a little bit, give you guys a little bit of hopefully y'all can hear us. We'll try to interact with you guys tonight as much as we possibly can, but we want to thank you guys for joining us. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and bring on the man of the hour here, Alfonso Smith. I've got to bear with me, guys, as these live on location things, we hardly ever make it perfect. That's just the way it is. And as I said, it is Tim's fault. But Alfonso, how you doing, sir?
Hey man, I'm doing as good as I can with all the craziness going on in the world.
Yeah, there's a lot of craziness going on. Speaking of, we're here, but I mean, where we are, we haven't had a chance to really get out and do this because it's pretty well kind of the first time in a long time we've been able to do it. So,
yeah,
and I'm assuming that's probably the same way for you too.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys, brought me on, and because I kind of haven't had the chance to do much of anything like everybody else in the world, but so it feels good to try to get back into the flow of things, to how things used to be, I guess you would say, and of course things won't be exactly the same, but I think we all can agree that having sports back can ease a lot of tension and stress on people.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive right into it. Your time at Kentucky. I mean, tell us kind of about your journey. It's always a special story for every player that gets on here. So kind of let Big Blue Nation know your story.
Yeah, so of course, with every story, well, if any of you have been really following me and know my past, then you would know that I come from a struggle. I come from poverty, like most guys from the inner city does, and so but going to Kentucky, and it was all great with the signing and stuff, but of course I went through some trials and stuff, but just overall it was a blessing, and it molded me. Coach Rich Brooks and Joker Phillips really molded me into what I became, and I was able to do, and play in the NFL for 6 to 7 years. Like they gave me just the ingredients of toughness, of physicality, of playing in a tough conference like the SEC, everything that they promised me. Because right up until my class, I believe Rich Brooks was struggling, with 3-win seasons and stuff. So we came in with a little niche on our shoulder to really change that program around. And I could say that a lot of guys, a lot of alumni, a lot of Kentucky alumni are proud at what Coach Stoops is doing and the direction of the program.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Alfonso, man. You come in with that group, and you'll be known as a part of that turnaround in Kentucky football history. I know you guys got to be proud. All of us as fans, we appreciate you guys getting that program turned around. And I'm sure that's something that makes you proud when you're out telling people when you played for UK.
Yeah, I tell guys story all the time. When I was with the Arizona Cardinals and the college season would be going on, a lot of guys would be placing bets, on, if their team is going to win or not, and stuff like that. And Dan Williams was on my team. a Tennessee Vol. So he was there, and he would be talking stuff to me all the time about how we couldn't beat Tennessee. So we would bet, and I would bet $500. Like, hey, I'm betting on my guys, even though it was 20 something and odd years. I would still bet heavy on my guys because I bleed blue, and a lot of times I came up short. A lot of times I left, $500 less, but it was all good. And then when we did beat them, it was amazing. It was amazing feeling to see Mac Roark, a wide receiver, play quarterback and beat Tennessee. I mean, they got beat by a quarterback that is not really a quarterback. So that's even more of a smack in the face to them. And I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of I'm proud of everything that the Cats are doing. Benny Snell came through, shook up all the record books, amazing. Like a little bit of me was a little envy of that because I'm like, I could have probably did more if I had more chances. But Benny really opened up everything. I mean, and I love it. Like I support Kentucky 110%.
Yeah, man, it's funny that you say that because I remember watching you play, and you were a dynamic player, no doubt. And I have to ask you, man, how much do you think about how nice it would be to play behind that offensive line that Kentucky's got now?
Gosh, I dream of stuff like that. I mean, I literally do. I literally like wake up in night sweats and stuff, and just thinking this. I think it's my mind going back in the past and knowing it kind of knows that I missed out on some greatness. Because it's nothing like college football. I mean, I was in the NFL for 7 years, man, and it's nothing like the Big Blue Nation out there screaming for you, all that blue and just all of the excitement. It's not the same when you go to the NFL. It's just not the same. It's hard, and I really fed on that. Every SEC stadium was dynamic, and I've never experienced anything like it. I went and coached up at Michigan. If you guys know, I went up there and helped with Coach Harbaugh because I played with him a little bit, and then I played for him when he was with the Niners, and so I helped out his son with the running backs. And even at Michigan, all right, a place like Michigan, a place like the Big House did not compare to the SEC. The only stadium I would say that really compared was Penn State when they had Saquon Barkley and that defense, and we went down there and it was a whiteout. That was the loudest that I've heard, in college football. But there's just nothing like that in the NFL. It never really got that loud unless you played in Seattle, and I played there twice a year. So it was very loud. I mean, I played there once a year, but it was very loud in Seattle. That was the loudest that I've ever heard in, a stadium.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I was going to ask you too about the Big Blue Nation, how they treated you as a player.
Of course, like basically I'm a man of faith, right? So I'm a man that knows that I had a particular destination and I had a road that I had to take. So I don't take, I look back on it and like I used to really be bitter at some of the coaches that I felt like I should have played more and did some things. I was mad at myself. A part of growing and healing as a human being is forgiving yourself. I had a lot of little injuries and like ankle injuries, so I really was mad at myself more than anybody. But I felt, I could have did more, but I supported Derek Locke when he was in there 110%. He's like my brother, Rafael Little, Tony Dixon, all those guys, Monsell Allen. I mean, we all could carry the ball. I mean, John Connor, Randall Cobb, so it was a lot of weapons. And, overall, man, I'm very pleased and happy with where I ended up and where my career ended up because I had a little extra chips on my shoulder because of how I felt I was done at Kentucky. So that gave me a little bit more ambition and drive when I was on my journey in the NFL because it was real brutal. It's a real brutal business that you guys are seeing now. It's a lot of behind the scenes things that you don't really know about that are out of your control. And what Kentucky taught me was that there's some things that are just out of your control. And so I felt like that I capitalized overall after my whole experience with Kentucky. It made me better as a man, period.
Yeah, man, that's a lot to overcome. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I was going to ask you too. This is kind of we were going back toward Rich Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
When we got him at Kentucky, he ended up kind of being at the end of his career, so to speak. Rich Brooks given 5-6 more years. You think he would have had it where Stoops has got it now?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think Brooks was on to something. It took time, like just like anything worth doing or going through. It takes time. It takes time to build a championship team, especially in a conference like the SEC. So he was doing it the right way, and it was physicality. I mean, a lot of guys, when I went to the NFL, and a lot of guys like Florida guys and stuff like that, and Alabama guys, I was around Ingram and all of them, they did not like playing the Kentucky defenses. Like nobody liked to play Kentucky. Just like I believe with like Mississippi State too. I hated playing against Mississippi State more than anybody else because I was very sore in the morning. I was very sore or injured. It was going to be a battle. And Brooks had it that way, so I feel we probably would be further along. But of course, he was well off. And I'm sure he wanted a little bit of retirement, so I don't blame him for it. But Stoops is doing a heck of a job, man. He comes from a solid pedigree. I've even dreamed of even coaching with Stoops, of coming up there and coaching the running backs. That would be a dream of mine. So, I mean, if that happens, if I'm blessed enough to get that opportunity one day, man, I will come in and give it everything I got to them. But right now, as of now, I'm a family man. I have a 4-year-old son. I have twin daughters that are 2 years old. So, I'm blessed right now, and I'm blessed at watching Kentucky grow and continue to be a powerhouse out here in college football.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, I will make sure. I know Stoops. I know you're watching. If you need a good running backs coach, Alfonso Smith is your man. So hit him up.
Sir.
You know what, Adam? There's no doubt that if anybody can relate to the players and what it's like to play at UK and the fan base, it would be Alfonso.
That's exactly right. So speaking of running backs, guys like Benny Snell. I mean, the running game has been just absolutely phenomenal at Kentucky. Touch on that a little bit.
Oh man, it's been amazing. More than anything, because you got this spread offense era. And you got guys willing to pass the ball a lot, and I get it. I really thrived off pass protection. Like it was something crazy about me that I'd like hitting bigger linebackers than me and stopping them in their tracks. There's something about that even running the ball couldn't actually do. So to see them guys pound the ball and get in those wildcat formations, and then you just absolutely have no answer. I mean, that is the best thing about football. That is football. All this passing the ball and stuff. I don't like that is another game. I don't know what that is but football is in between the tackles, and a man on the other side has to drop, and he has to become a man, and he's challenged, and the other man's trying to get a yard or 2 yards or whatever. That is football right there.
That's right, man. I agree with you. It's a man's game. And how many times last year watching Lynn Bowden do his thing? Were you thinking, man, give me that ball, let me run behind that line?
Because you see those guys fighting for every extra yard, and what those guys do up front is everything. They are everything. I mean, I always told those guys, even when I was at the Arizona Cardinals, like I was friends with those guys. Hey, you need me to pay for y'all meals? And they did. A lot of times I was left with a big tab, but I mean, like you got to take care of those guys up front because they take care of you. And if they block hard for you, things just happen. And I remember busting some long runs myself and just, it's been so easy. And that's not, it was easy for me. But for the guys, right there in the trenches, man, it's a lot of headaches, a lot of headaches and a lot of sore shoulders.
Hey, Alfonso, man, I wish you were here with us. We're live on location at the Butcher's Pub in Pineville, Kentucky. And, man, it's Wednesday night. They've got wings for 75 cents, and it's happy hour all day. What do you think about that, man? I'm
missing out. Hey, I've actually been on a good diet. I've been doing good. A lot of people actually think I still play. I actually coach in Louisville, Kentucky at Wagner High School, where I played and graduated from. So I've been giving back to them guys. And I'm in good shape. If Stoops need a running back, and I can get through Sandy Bell and the clearinghouse. I believe Sandy Bell's still up there. I mean, I would strap it up again, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Hey, let me tell you something. So we had on Monday, Ramon Harris told us all about his story with the clearinghouse. So it's funny that you mentioned clearinghouse again, because it seems like, man, he had a nightmare with them before he came to Kentucky. So it was, definitely. Let's get you eligible, man, and get you behind that line.
And what's funny is all that stuff starting to come to light now with the NCAA and paying players and should players be paid, and you're seeing all that stuff come up, and it brings attention towards the clearinghouse. Like, what is actually the clearinghouse like? What are they actually doing? Like, so I mean, everything's highlighted now.
No kidding.
Everything's out there in the open now, man. It's like nothing's hidden no more. So if there is any type of shadiness stuff going on, it will be brought to light.
Hey, Alfonso, I know what it's like. I know what you're like, man. I know you tell it like it is.
Yep.
Tell the Big Blue Nation out there, man, if you could suit up behind that offensive line, how many yards could you get a game? What do you think you would do?
I'm going to lay it on the line. I'm telling you, I would average 5 yards a carry. I know how to fall forward. I mean, it is an art to it. You got to be willing to get hit, like an extra time. You got to be fearless. And I absolutely do not fear anything but God. So I will be good, but the difference would I be good the next day? It would take me maybe 2 weeks to recover fully. Like I used to think I was invincible, and a lot of the Big Blue Nation know I call myself Superman and Man of Steel, but age has spoken. The Father Time has spoken.
Yeah, man.
I guess what we'll do is to close this out, kind of give us your best moment that really stood out to you in the Kentucky uniform.
Man, I have so many. Wow. That's a hard one. I would say right off the top of my head, the thing I was most proud of is when I got the start against Georgia, and me and Tony Dixon, I believe we had pretty much. I think we split the carries like pretty good. I probably had about 70 yards, and we beat Georgia at home and tore down the goalpost. And and we haven't beat them for a while, and we beat them guys, and that was everything. Because I really felt like, okay, Coach Brooks brought me there, Coach Phillips brought me there. I believe Randy Sanders brought me in, and they trusted me to do something and to beat programs like Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and we did that. And I felt like it was just one of the little like bucket list checks off,
Yeah, man. We picked up a couple wins over Tennessee, I think, since you left, and a win over Florida. But that win that you got against Georgia, we'll never forget that.
It was beautiful.
No, I definitely won't. I won't ever forget that one.
That was a good one. So, are we up against the break?
We are, but a little different this time around tonight, and I'll explain that here in a minute. But we won't keep you any longer, Alfonso, but we do want to tell you, as we tell every player that comes on this show, you have an open platform here anytime you want to use it, all right? We're on multiple radio stations across the state. We're on TV. We're everywhere. So if you ever need something you got to say, get off your chest, and you just want to talk to Big Blue Nation, hit us up, and you're welcome back on the show anytime.
That is amazing, and I really appreciate that, because I'm going to start a business here soon in Kentucky, and I'm going to be doing some things here in the state of Kentucky, giving back to the state of Kentucky, and being on the front lines out there as a black man. I'm going to come out there and say that as a positive black man that wants change and just wants everybody to be great and love everybody. I love everybody, every race. I love everybody, and I want everybody to have a great life and and just to do well. So I'm gonna be out here on the front lines, and I'm gonna be giving back to schools and talking to kids and trying to get our youth on the right direction. And so I'll be out here, and I'll be trying to be another vessel for God.
Hey, Alfonso, speaking of that, we've got something behind the scenes in the works right now, and we'll message you about that, and I think you'd love to be a part of it.
All right, my man. Shoot it to me.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you. Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night. All right, how awesome was that, folks?
That was cool. That was
all
cool.
right, so let me tell you how this particular night is going to work, folks. You're not going to get any breaks tonight. We don't have any way to play commercials. We don't have any way to do any of that. All right? So tonight, you're getting the raw version of Wildcat Sports Talk.
Throwback.
So what we're going to do, and we've done this before, all right? First of all, I got to get the Wi-Fi password. All right, we got to work that out.
Yeah.
That's really important. But in order for me to do that, I have to switch us to this. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do to keep talking to them, keep them entertained.
Well, Gerald will help you there getting the Wi-Fi password, I'm sure. What's up, Josh Maxey? Guys, we've got Josh Maxey in the house. It's a special treat. We're going to talk to him here in a little bit. But, yeah, I'm glad you guys tuned in. Like we said earlier, this is our first live on location since COVID hit, since the pandemic, since everything was shut down. This is our first live on location, and we've had some technical difficulties. But we're making it through it, though. We're going to keep on trucking here. We're live on location at the pub, which is called the Butcher's Pub in Pineville, Kentucky. And Friday nights, guys, they got live music. And this Friday, we'll have Jasper Hollow. He'll be playing, picking and grinning for you guys. So come out and check him out. And if you make it out today, they've got 75-cent wings, and it's happy hour all day. You can't beat it. That's the Butcher's Pub.
See how this works, Tim? So something that I'm going to do tonight is, first of all, I'm going to make this show very interactive. I've got Josh Maxey right here, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to get some stuff for you guys that are here watching the show. I'm going to do that. So while I do that, Tim, I can just talk to you. Man, how cool is that?
Adam's on the move, guys.
So in case you guys have never seen this place, maybe you should come down to the Butcher's Pub. See, those look good, don't they? Yeah. Those look great. So come on down. It's a great place to come out, have something to eat. You got plenty of TVs here. It's a nice place down here. So check the place out. Make sure you come. And we're going to be here all night. Did I go the right way, or am I going out, or I don't know what I'm doing tonight. Man, I got locked in. Tim.
So Adam's actually out on the street right now.
Yeah, I am.
Well, this is cool, even though we didn't plan it. We'll get Josh Maxey on here when he gets done eating. He's enjoying this delicious food at the Butcher's Pub.
Okay.
You enjoying that over there, John?
I'm going to
give me a thumbs up.
I'm going to try to come out here. And so, yeah. Beautiful downtown Pineville, man. Y'all got a nice town here, Tim.
It is beautiful, man. It don't get any prettier than downtown Pineville, man. Courthouse Square. Nice place to be, man. Nice place to come hang out, watch a ball game if we get any back on.
See, I'm honestly, Tim, I'm vastly out of shape to be going up and down these steps. So I'm just,
Tell me that. Did you get our gifts that we're giving away?
I did. Hold on here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we got that. All right, so I want to tell you real quick. We got to figure out something here with that. I might have to walk over here again. So I've got Wildcat Sports Talk magnets, Tim. These, fantastic. All right. Look at that.
Stick those around your car or refrigerator or anywhere.
Stuff. See, this is what I'm going to do here. Make sure everybody gets a couple. Yeah. There's your couple. There's your couple. See, this is how we do this. You come out, you're going to get some play.
Yeah, we're going to give you some stuff.
There you go, buddy.
Come out and check out the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Alfonso Smith. It was a great interview. Former Cardinal, NFL player, Kentucky player. Like he said, guys, if he was running behind that offensive line, he'd average 5 yards a carry. So I believe in that.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's what I wanted to do for you. I'm just here thinking. All right, so all you guys maybe you guys see, make sure that you like and share this video all over the place. We need you to do that. It helps us out. Obviously, we need all the help we can get. So help us out. All right. especially with Tim. I got to drag him along, and it's tough.
You know. Oh man, I don't know what to say to that. I tell you what. So Adam, man, what do you think about this?
What I do
I
here?
mean, I see. Yes, we're going to play football, and then I see people posting doom and gloom.
Yeah.
We're getting the both each side of it.
Well, man, to be honest with you, this time of year right now, anyway, there's a lot of uncertainty in sports, regardless, right? So now we have much more to worry about. Okay, so not only that, we've got the coronavirus, but there's a lot of moving parts that are in place. Ivy League
Shut down.
But
that's not an indication that everything will shut down.
Now, there were a series of tweets, and Josh, you might be able to touch on this. I know you're eating, but I'm still going to So, the KHSAA said that they were meeting Friday, right? And then what happened was, it's a series of tweets that basically said that the idea is that they're, and of course, this is unconfirmed, they're going to vote on whether or not to have baseball first, then basketball, then football. Is that?
The KHSA said that did not come from them, but Friday they are having a meeting, and we'll give a lot of, there'll be a lot of guidelines of what's going to happen. They'll be released Friday.
For y'all that can't hear that, Josh Maxey just let us know that there is a meeting going to take place Friday, and a lot of these answers, all these questions will be answered on Friday whenever KHSAA comes out and lets us know how that meeting goes. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, hopefully we'll get it all figured out. We got some more people rolling.
My dad got mad. He told me to wear a mask.
Oh, you didn't have your mask on?
Or sit further apart. He got
Yeah.
mad. So, I don't want my dad to get mad.
No, we don't want him mad. So.
But no, we're actually. It looks like we're
really pretty far
actually
apart.
pretty far apart. So we've made sure to try to do that, just so we can try to maintain our social distancing and doing the right thing. That's what we want everybody to do. Is do the right thing. But right now, Tim, it's looking more and more, and as you see these things that are happening, like Ivy League canceling and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, what's the future? I don't want to talk anymore virus stuff. I'm kind of tired of talking about it, just to be perfectly honest with you. But it's at the forefront of everybody's mind.
Yeah. And
at the end of the day, really, when you're in a cycle where there's not any sports anyway, because there wouldn't be, other than baseball. What do you do?
Well, when people are posting about the Ivy League shutting down, they think that automatically means NCAA's next. It could, but my opinion on it is the Ivy League is nothing like NCAA. I mean, the revenue is not nearly the same. In my opinion, I'm trying to be positive, of course, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you this. Of these guys that are sitting here right now, I want to ask you guys a question. All right. Come July 24th, will the Reds play their opening day game in Cincinnati?
Yes.
We got 2 yeses.
We got 2 yeses.
There we go.
So there you go. That's the thing that, I'm curious if that's the way things are kind of just spiraling downhill. I mean, you see every day you see just a massive uptick in cases,
Yes.
and you have to wonder. I get it. I get it. Besides that, at some point we have to just move forward. But at the same time, what happened in 1918, the things that they did then, doesn't necessarily mean that 102 years later we can use those same guidelines. It's a little different. So, there's no real right answer, but that's it. I'm done. We're not going to talk about that no more. Let me ask you this.
Where you go?
Coach Cal he's kind of been coming out on Mondays. He does this thing, Coffee with Cal.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What do you think, man? I mean, it's kind of a cool idea. Name another coach that kind of does something like that.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else that's doing it, and I don't even know if it would be a big hit if somebody else did it because, Calipari's got that celebrity appeal, man. Everybody wants to get on and see what he's talking about. He's been bringing on some really good guests.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's he's had massive, big time guests on the show. And then he did a podcast, which you guys have not heard of. He did one with Rick Pitino.
I didn't see it.
That was like several years ago.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
sat
okay.
down. He sat down with Rick Pitino. I mean, that's just the kind of that's the kind of guy Cal is, and that's what I like about Cal personally.
Yeah.
Is that he'll he's
He
not
does
really
a great
afraid.
job.
He's not really afraid to dig in there and do it. But we were talking earlier about Marshall, and
That's what I was getting ready to talk
okay,
about. Yes,
so
yes.
we've got Marshall now coming and playing UK. Well, we have had we've had a player from Marshall on the show.
We have had a player from Marshall on the show, and not just a player. We had Marshall starting point guard on the show. First team all freshman team, all conference all freshman team. Kid from Corbin named Andrew Taylor. We had him on the show and actually just wrote a little article about that that's getting ready to hit the website.
It is, and you guys want to make sure you check that out at wildcatsportstalk.com. Make sure you head over to our iHeartRadio page.
Yeah.
Subscribe there. You'll get all the latest episodes there, including this one at some point in time.
And he does talk about playing UK.
He does, yeah. And you can go back and look at that. If you go back on our iHeartRadio page, you can find it there. Or you just go to the website and you can listen to all the latest episodes there as well.
Yeah.
So we've kind of got everything set up for you. We're really excited about the future. Was told today, and I'm gonna try to get this correct. So you gotta. This is a bad thing. With masks, the Face ID, you can't. Like it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So then you got to put the numbers in, and it's not. I'm not a fan of. So
Yeah.
anyway, let's see here. Looking. All right, so we are going to be on Thursday and Friday nights on PRTC television out of Jackson County, Leslie County, Clay County. So if you're over in that area and you get that IPTV, PRTC, the People's Fiber Network is what it's called. PRTC TV.
Jackson County, Clay County.
McKee, that area. If you've got it, Thursday and Friday nights you'll be able to see the shows on your TV screen. And I'm gonna tell you, I have sat back, I pulled it up on YouTube and watched this on TV. I look better than you.
Well,
But
that's debatable.
I mean,
But
no, really though, we both
that's
look,
exciting though to be on TV.
we both actually we look terrible on TV. But we got a face for radio. But we're excited to be on TV and make sure that if you're over that way, check it out. And then soon, more announcements are coming down the road.
Hey Adam, I got to eat here at the Butcher's Pub before we came on. You didn't get to, did you?
I did not get to it.
Have you ate here before?
No, man.
You were going to have to try that as soon as the show's over. I had steak, man, Philly cheese steak and fries. And I'm not just saying this because we're here. Delicious.
Oh man.
Delicious.
See, I want some wings. I love
Well, they're 75 cents today.
I mean, yeah, 75 cents.
You can't beat that, man.
That's.
You guys come check it out. We've got some UK fans in here now. They're filing in behind us, and got a good little crowd here to watch this unorthodox edition of Wildcat Sports Talk. Because, like Adam said earlier, we had some technical difficulties, but hey, we're making it through it, man.
We're making it through it. We're getting right in there. I want you guys to comment and give us some questions, give us some comments, give us some things you want us to talk about tonight. We'll be glad to do so. Be glad to answer anything you want.
Make sure to share if you're watching.
Good food. Yeah, you're right. It is good food.
Yeah, I think that's actually somebody in here eating it right
Well, I'm
now.
gonna find out, but I'm already can tell. When it's funny. I say that, but when you walk into a place, you can generally tell it's gonna be good food. Man. The second I walk in here, it smells good. I can tell just right off the bat. Fun fact for you, all right?
Okay.
I'm driving down here, and I turn in to Tennessee Avenue. Which is, how you gonna name anything Tennessee in the state of
Oh,
Kentucky?
Kentucky Avenue is right here.
Yeah, we're on Kentucky.
Yeah, you're on Kentucky.
That's fine. It redeems itself.
Yeah.
So, I'm a little upset about that. But I turn in, and I realize, short of when I was in Marcy Man in Florida, I've really never been down the Pineville.
It's beautiful here.
But then I've never been on this main street right
Yeah,
here.
you never came down in town.
It's a quaint little town. It
Yeah.
really is. And you wouldn't think of it to be here, but it's here. So come down, check it out. Spend a night down here. You know, just come down, see Pineville, get out of your house for whatever, have it alone, and just come on down and see it. We're going to try to be here as long as we can after the show.
Mingle
Well, at a distance,
at a distance.
but we will do it. So come on down, and we may hook you up with some magnets as well. Let's see. Yeah.
Nice place. Yeah, it is a nice place. We are actually upstairs, so there's two levels here, which is pretty cool. And the customer service is great, guys. You can't ask for better customer service. They treat you really good. There's no doubt about it. And whenever sports get started back at it, it looks like a really nice place to watch ball.
For sure.
I mean, we got all the TVs downstairs. It's pretty cool. They even got them up here, so pretty awesome. But man, it's funny. We were talking about Marshall. I know we already talked about this, but it was funny that we've had so many shows now and so many guests that when you see a story pop up like Kentucky added Marshall to the schedule, you're like, wait a minute. Didn't we have a Marshall player?
And here's the crazy part, and it even clicked in my mind. I go, I am positive. I asked him about ever playing UK, and he said he would love to, but he had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that a lot.
I know I was, but I'm just saying.
You got to read it though. It reads good.
It's great. You've got to see it, and it's So make sure that you check it out. We're gonna have everything up there for you, and I'll even pull the video.
You know what? I can't help but think. What happens normally when a great Kentucky player, Kentucky born and raised player, comes to Rupp Arena and plays against Kentucky? What normally happens?
Oh, they go off on us.
Hey, Chris Lofton
did it.
Patrick Sparks. He went to Western, came in and played Kentucky. Am I right, John? Patrick Sparks, didn't he go to Western?
He went to Western.
Came in and lit it up against Kentucky.
Scotty Hobson was in Tennessee. That's
Yes, Scotty Hobson played in Tennessee. So those Kentucky boys, man, they're fun to watch. When they get on the floor at Rupp, you never know what's going to happen.
Here's the fun.
All right, wait.
All right. So, can you name from each school the most hated player?
The most hated player.
Go right down the SEC of players that just
Well,
flew all over.
let me see. I've got one obvious one that sticks out.
All right, we'll go basketball first, and let's start with Florida.
Florida's the one I want to start with. That's my number one obvious most hated player. Joe Kim Nolan.
Oh, there's for obvious reasons.
And he had a good career. He had a good NBA career.
And then he went to the Bulls, which is just a complete, like slap in the face to Michael Jordan fans like us. You know what I'm saying?
He's a heck of a player, no doubt about it. But he was easy to hate, man. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So besides that, it starts getting a little bit harder for me. Marshall Henderson over at Ole Miss, was it? Is that where he played, Ole Miss? Boy, he was. I love watching him play, but as a Kentucky fan, you kind of got to hate the guy.
You know what makes me mad, Tim, is the two that were on my mind. You literally ruined it for me before we even got.
I guess those are the obvious two.
Marshall Henderson was a guy that.
I'll tell you what we need to do. What I want to do. I want to take a break. I'm going to take a time out. How about you bring Josh Maxey on and let him talk about that with you?
Well, how about this?
All right.
How about this? I can do that, but you gotta see if he wants to do that.
Josh is always ready to talk to me. You can talk with us, Josh. Folks, we're putting him on the spot, live on radio, live on
What it
Facebook.
is Tim can't go the full hour. That's the problem. He don't have.
No,
he
it's
don't
just
have the-
I'm not just saying it because he's here. But Josh is very knowledgeable. We've had him on the show several times, and I want to take advantage of him being here in person.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, it's.
You good, Josh? All right, guys. Here's Josh Maxey.
I have a quick hitter question.
All right.
This will work. This will work. All right. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Olivier Sarr, does he get eligible?
Yes.
Oh, there's some good positives.
No kids will get enrolled in school this year with the COVID-19. I just think it's just I think they're going to throw it all out the window and just kind of leave it a 1 year thing. But I have something that I think is even more interesting in college. What about these high school kids that, we've already lost a baseball season? Do you guys think that they should have, if they've never been held back in high school, middle school, younger, if they've never, been held back before, do you think they should let them hold back say we lost the football season this year?
Definitely, if they've not been held
Yeah.
back. I like that thought. I like that train of thought you're on there.
Because I'm going to tell you something. After what Julian Tackett said yesterday, I feel a lot better about football season in high school this year than I do basketball. I don't know if that's
I've heard a little bit saying that it was easier to play.
Well, because now he said, since basketball's played indoors, that it's just a whole different dynamic, and he feels much better about having a football season than a basketball season.
Which completely kind of contradicts those tweets that we were just referring to, because their idea is that football has the most contact, which it does in a way if you're talking about contact. But yeah, where it's indoors and it's basketball, I would think that would be worse. And what about having their?
That looks like a temporary shutdown.
Yeah, it just, man, I just kind of thought at one time, several weeks ago, they thought they had a direction to go. In the last couple of weeks, everything was just like, Tim, I remember, if you remember several months back, when we done a show, we actually did a show from my store over in London. I had Coach Riley over, we had him from South Alabama. They had first, in fact, I think they had canceled his conference tournament like 3 or 4 days before that. And, at that time, man, I would have never imagined that it would have got to this proportion as far as the effect it's had on the world of sports. I mean, it's just completely.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a month, not a deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody, hey, we'll kind of get everything in quarantine. This thing will be over in a couple of weeks. But man, it's just it's went to a whole nother level than went again. So as a high school basketball coach, man, I'm just at this point I'm more concerned about a season coming up than I have been so far.
I'm glad you brought that up too, Josh, because I'm gonna step away just for a second, but I want you to talk to Adam a little bit. I know this is Wildcat Sports Talk, but we're in Bell County, Kentucky today, and where do you coach at?
I'm the basketball coach in Bell County, so I'm happy to be here. And man, I tell you, I've heard you guys talking. I've heard you guys talking, and man, I want to reiterate the fact. If you've not been to Pineville, Kentucky before, man, this place is Mayor Scott Madden, him and Jacob Roney's the city director here in Pineville. Man, they have just really, really just what I say, they put in work. They have made this place just we're nestled here in the hills of eastern Kentucky, on the Tennessee line, and man, it's just what they've done to this town is just incredible. And I mean, it's a beautiful place if you've never been here before.
Well, if you've never had a chance, growing up in southeast Kentucky, you would come over this way. You hardly ever come down into town.
You just pass it by.
You pass it by, and you go on your way to on your way to Middlesboro, going through the tunnel. But if you stop off and go to Chain Rock, and you've never seen Chain Rock, it's the cool. I mean, it's awesome, man. And the story behind it is so just quaint and just,
as a kid, man, I always remember it was just a big, just come. My grandparents seemed like that's who we were with. I always thought if that rock broke, the whole chain. But it took me 2 years later in my life to figure out, hold on, if that chain broke, it was thought it was going to our town. So, it's always been a myth, and it's been really cool.
Well, and what's great about it to me is it's like the idea in their mind that a rock it's a big rock, but it's not like a town level rock, and they thought that this rock would destroy the whole town.
Absolutely, like a meteor. But in fact, a lot of people don't understand. Middlesboro, I don't know if you know the story, but it's called the Crater City because it was founded by a crater.
And the first time I heard that, I was like, what? And then when I was driving through Middlesboro, and you get right in the center there where like the whole, the mall is, and you just kind of circle and look around, you're like, mountain.
Yeah.
It looks like
this.
this.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so it's really cool.
It's a cool place.
And a fun fact about Pineville, personally, my grandfather, he just retired at 92 years old. He's a pharmacist. He was a pharmacist over in Marlboro. But back in the 70s, he owned Gill Pharmacy in Middlesboro, Kentucky. Now, years ago, when Pineville flooded, people needed their medicine.
Okay.
And there are pictures of him dating back to the 1970s of him taking his little rowboat right through the streets of Pineville.
It's a neat story,
and delivering meds to the folks that needed it. So this town has got a lot, and that, by the way, I was told kind of recently when the water got up, they actually closed the gates.
Oh, first time it's been closed. We're talking about back in the spring. I think it's been the first time it's been closed since like in 40 years or something. Yeah,
Yeah, and so, but in the 70s, see, they didn't have the gates. So, like, that's Yeah.
And then it came over and flooded, and then they learned. They were like, "Yeah, we don't have that again." So,
Let me ask you a question. Here's the tough one. I was thinking about this today. Who is the most famous athlete from Bell County?
well,
That may be something for the guests to be able to help us out.
I mean, for me, I'm 34, so I mean, it's got to be Macy, doesn't it?
Who?
Macy Morris.
Oh, well, okay. So yeah, it's a girl. Yeah,
I mean, for me, that's
absolutely. I don't think so. I know Larry Percival. He played at Kentucky in the '60s. Is that right, Gary? Percival, is he from? I think Larry Percival played at Kentucky. He was a really good player, and maybe I guess it was the '70s. I think he was from Bell County. Trying to think who else. One of my favorite people on earth, Coach Rodney Woods, who he's the coach at Wayne County now. He played down at Lone Jack, and he was the point guard on the Ernie and Bernie show at the University of Tennessee with Bernard King and Ernie Grunfield. He still holds lots of records down at University of Tennessee. So there's been some good athletes from here, you know.
I keep looking out this window right across the way here, which we got an awesome view up here. I'll show you all here in a little bit.
What do you think of Back to the Future?
Yes. I was like, man, that's Kyle Walker right up there. I'm like, are we gonna have to wait till?
I'm expecting Martin McFly anytime.
Yeah, he's got a little line running down front of him, ready to go right through the streets of Pineville.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, cool stuff. If you've not been down here, check out Pineville, Kentucky. We really love you to come on down and check it out. Have something to eat here at the Butcher's Pub.
Listen, I know a little bit about sports. I know a whole lot about food. And what I just say here is really, really good. So, if you guys are in down this way, the food's really good here at Butcher's Pub. And, I've been by a lot because, I'm obviously in Pineville a lot, but man, this place man, I'll tell you, it's a diamond in the rough. Pineville, Kentucky is a diamond in the rough. It really is, man. It's grown a lot lately. I know at one point, a couple years ago, I'm not for sure now, but there was not one building downtown that was vacant. So there was a business in every town. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I live in London, and there's several businesses, buildings that's vacant downtown London.
Downtown London though is picking up.
Oh,
that's the last time I was down there.
More so than on Main Street. Well, Pineville's got a downtown Main Street thing. I think London is more of a spread out, industrial things.
Yeah. So let's do some quick sports topics here real quick, and to close out this show, I want to ask you. We talked about Olivier Sauter, right? You said that you don't believe that any athlete's going to be ruled ineligible. So let's say they come out and they say he can't play.
There should be a huge, long appeal process.
I mean, what would their explanation? I mean, would they give an explanation, or would they just say sorry?
No, Adam, that's a good question. I just think, man, it's a slippery slope on both sides of the line, man. I just think there's so much bigger fish to fry than getting into
well, with the NBA changing their date, that's going to hurt, and it just is. But what frustrates me is the NCAA now is hurting this young man's future if they come out and say no now because they've waited. If they say it like
a month ago, and they're like, well, you can't play,
then he's got time to get into the NBA.
And you know what, man? Here's what really, this is the part that really hurts me. And maybe this is just my Kentucky blue bias, I don't know. But you've got all these schools, man, that's getting ready to be hit with level 1 violations. And it's obvious they've done some really scary. And no matter what happens, the public knows their stuff. I mean, Duke may never get in trouble. But we all know they've done some really scary things. Just seems to me like, and this may be my Kentucky bias, and it's probably more John Calipari than the University of Kentucky. But if there's one kid who don't make it, it will probably be the kid that plays at Kentucky. It just seems that if there's one kid who they won't roll eligible, it would probably be at Kentucky. Like Ennis Cantor, there was no reason Ennis Cantor couldn't play.
Right.
I mean, it just seems like they always want to make an example out of Kentucky.
When Josh Harrelson came out that year, that one took him to a Final Four. I mean, would that have happened otherwise? If they had gone and won the championship, you just never know. But yeah, I agree. It's frustrating to me. I get Johnny G. Snake's situation is completely different. He moved for family, but he still got eligible. And if you're going to give him eligibility coming from Kentucky, You need to give the guy coming to Kentucky eligibility.
Johnny Juzang was eligible before the paperwork got to the NCAA. His eligibility beat that.
Everybody got eligible, and then okay, so it has Kentucky. Let me ask you this: if he's transferred anywhere else, would we have already known?
No, it would have been. Well, in fact, the kid who what was his name? The kid who was coming from Evansville that went to Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. You remember his name now?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, he ended up going to Memphis down there.
I almost think I seen that he got ruled eligible already. I mean, I'm
That's a joke. That makes me so mad.
yeah,
It's like, I don't know.
okay. So let me ask you this: let's say that Olivier Sarr does get eligible. What kind of season does that? Let me ask you: how in a game by game scenario, how many games does it win or lose with or without him?
I honestly think that if Olivier Sarr does not get eligible,
How far do we go?
I know this is gonna make a lot of people mad. I'm an opinion maker, so that's what happens. I don't think you can win a tip without him. I don't think you can do it.
I agree with that. I think now, with that being said, I do know something that early on, we always hear this. This time of year, things start coming out. Isaiah Jackson is a really, really good player, and he may be a little farther ahead than they thought. He's a thin. If he played the 5, he would be a thin 5. Cameron Fletcher is a lot farther ahead than they expect him to be. But you always hear things like that. I know Dante Allen's people really well. Dante's doing really well. He'll probably be our best shooter. That's a void. With Johnny Juzang leaving, I can see that Dante Allen may have to probably play. I see him play 12 to 15 minutes a game.
That's big. If that's the case, man, I would be shocked because they didn't give him, well, of course he was hurt. But I'm just saying, I don't think he's going to get that kind of love. But maybe you're right.
It's really weird. I mean, I've done this. If you went down through the roster, you kind of said, okay, Drew Askew's going to get 25 minutes a game. Keon Brooks is going to get 28 minutes a game. You keep going. Man, there's a lot of bodies this year, man. We're not going to have the depth issues I think we've had before team, with Calipari teams. I think there's a lot of guys who I think this team is going to be filled with more guys who are really solid role players, like the old school Kentucky fans like. There's not going to be as much star power. Terrence Clark is going to be really, really good. BJ Boston.
Is he the shooter that it looks like with the videos we're seeing, or is that just a normal kid showing a lot of shots in the night?
That guy's, I know he's really good. He's
because I didn't know he was that pure of a shooter.
I can see him leading the team that's won this year. I think there's going to be 3 guys who are, are traditional John Calipari type players. But I think guys 4 through 10, maybe they're 6, 7, 4 through 11. I think those guys are maybe the guys that we've been waiting on. Those guys who may be here a little longer than the typical one does.
I want to show everybody the video before we get out here. I want you to start signing them off. Tell them where they can find us and stuff, man. You guys can hear me, right? Yeah. No. All right. So here's the deal, folks. You got to see this view here. Look at this. Look at this. All downtown. So come on down to Pineville and check us out.
Hey, Adam, go put
Oh, let's put them on TV.
Let's put
everybody on TV. How y'all doing?
Hey, guys in the back.
See, there you go. So come on out. You're gonna have, it's fun, man. It's fun. All right, you can't follow me. You can't follow all over the place, Josh. You follow me.
He's all over the place. And I'm excited about it. Josh, and I think there's a lot of things. Everybody focus on the concerns like the post or whatever about Sarr and with Sarr. But with him, man, it's just going to be something else.
I just think it's going to be a little different than our traditional Calipari team.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you guys off.
Okay.
Listen, I'm so proud of you guys, man. This thing is, I remember when we first started. It's really growing. I'm really proud of what you're doing. Just keep going and you had some really awesome guests on, man. And that's I think it's something that a lot of people have really grown accustomed to come tuning in and watching it. You and Adam done a tremendous job, man. And I know you have a lot of fans. I see a lot of guys. Hey, man, and man, I'm just proud of you guys. I like when a dream comes together. And the Ramon Harris thing was a big hit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, man, I want to tell you, I appreciate that, but you were right there at the beginning, man. You helped us get it off the ground, and I appreciate you for that, man.
We'll keep working, and it's like everything in life. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, but you guys have knocked it out of the park. So, guys, good to be with y'all again. Adam, have a good evening, safe drive home. Guys, come to Pineville, come to Butcher's Club, man. It's a really nice place to eat, good atmosphere.
That's right. It's awesome. I appreciate you, Josh. That's Josh Maxey, guys. We've had him on several times on the show. He's kind enough to join us, and Adam's over there giving you all the view of the courthouse. And we just a nice place here, man. It's a good place to talk UK sports and hang out. It's a beautiful town here, the Butcher's Pub. You can't beat the food here, Adam. I know you're getting ready to check that out. A great interview with Alfonso Smith. If you guys are just tuning in, go back and watch that interview. It was pretty awesome. What do you think, Adam?
Good stuff. You don't want to miss out. He's very vocal. So then make sure you go back, check it out. Check us out on whatever, Spotify, iTunes. It doesn't matter. Any place you go, it's definitely going to help us out. I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight to support us.
Hey, Adam, you want to get a chant here before we get off?
Do what?
Look at a big blue chant.
I don't know.
I can do it.
You really think
Yeah, I
you
can do it. Ready?
You 100% think, all right.
I know I can do it.
He's going to do this.
Yeah. We need to go big blue chant. You ready? Everybody else go big blue chant. Go! C-A-T-S. One more. C-A-T-S.
There you go.
There you have it, guys. It's an awesome day here in Pineville. It's a good atmosphere, ain't it?
Great atmosphere. Come on down, check it out, and we will see you on Friday.
Yes, guys. Go Big Blue.